All right, let's talk about upgrading your thinking. I'm guessing a lot of you are already using AI research tools, right? Things like NotebookLM. They're amazing. But here's the thing. What if you're feeding them the wrong stuff? I'm going to show you a super simple two-tool workflow that makes your AI analyze not just your sources, but your unique thought process. And trust me, it's a total game changer.
So let's just start with this one critical question. Okay, think about it for a second. When you drop a bunch of articles and PDFs into your AI assistant, what is it actually looking at? Is it just seeing the raw text on the page? Or is it seeing all the brilliant connections, the little aha moments, and the insights you had while reading them? Because that difference, well, it's everything.
And that right there, that's the core problem. I like to call it context collapse. You see, when you just upload those raw sources, you're throwing away the most valuable data in the whole equation. Your notes in the margins, your gut reactions, the connections you made between two totally different ideas. All that context just vanishes. NotebookLM is fantastic at analyzing a document, for sure, but it can't read your mind. It can't see your thought process unless you explicitly give it to it.
So how do we fix this? How do we stop that context collapse? Well, it starts with layer 1 of our stack, the capture and connection layer. The whole idea here is to grab your thoughts and ideas with absolutely zero friction. And for that, we're going to use an amazing free open source tool called Logseq. You know, the philosophy behind Logseq is it's beautifully simple. You don't have to waste time thinking about folders or tags or where a note is supposed to go. Nope. Everything, and I mean everything, just starts as a simple bullet point on today's journal page. It's kind of like a running monologue. This works so well because it mimics how our brains actually work, right? Chronologically, by association. It lets you just grab that idea the second it hits you, and you can worry about organizing it later or never. And I really want to stress how fast this is. I mean, look at this. You see a cool article online, what do? You pop open Logseq, you paste the link, and you jot down a quick thought. This contradicts that other thing I read. Boom. Done. You're not formatting, you're not uploading, you're not breaking your flow. The URL itself is all the metadata you need to get started. It's all about pure, frictionless speed.
Okay, but capturing all this stuff is really only half the battle, right? Now we need to build a bridge. We need to get these messy, brilliant, raw notes from Logseq over to the AI for analysis. This is the synthesis step, and it is absolutely crucial for getting those powerful insights.
And this really shows you the clear division of labor in this workflow. Think of it this way. Logseq is for the messy, creative, human part of the process. It's where you use bidirectional links to build this incredible web of knowledge, connecting this to that. Then you hand it off to NotebookLM, which is like your hyper-focused analysis engine. It takes all that curated info and just excels at synthesizing these deep, surprising insights from it.
So the magic here is in how you group your notes before you export. It's super simple. You just go through your daily notes, and anytime you see something related to, say, Project Alpha, you just tag it with a link to that page. Logseq automatically pulls it all together. But here's the key, and if you remember one thing, remember this. You are not just grouping sources. You are intentionally, purposefully bundling your personal commentary right there with them. That's the secret sauce.
And this works beautifully for PDFs too, which I know is a big deal for a lot of you. You just drop the file into your Logseq assets folder, then in your notes, you start pulling out the key quotes. And again, here's that critical step. Right underneath each quote, you write your analysis. Why did you pull this quote? Do you agree? Disagree? What other idea does it remind you of? This is how you breathe life into a static PDF and make it speak with your voice.
Okay, so once you've got all your notes, your quotes, your links, and most importantly, all your personal commentary grouped together on that single project page, you just hit export. That's it. You get a clean, simple text file. And that file is pure gold. It's not just a collection of sources anymore. It's a curated document of your actual living thinking process.
And now we get to the really fun part, the payoff. We take that golden file, that literal snapshot of your brain on a topic, and we feed it into our synthesis engine. This is where we let NotebookLM do its thing. So, just as a quick reminder, what makes NotebookLM so special? Well, its superpower is that it draws answers exclusively from the source documents you give it. It's not going to make things up or pull from the wider internet. It stays grounded 100% in your material. It's your own private expert AI. And because your source material now includes you, your own thinking, the questions you can ask are on a completely different level. I mean, look at this prompt. You're not just asking it to compare source A and source B.
You're asking it to find disagreements between source A and your commentary on source B. You are literally asking the AI to analyze your analysis. Mind-blowing, right?
This just unlocks a whole new world of insights. Suddenly, you can ask it to spot contradictions between what an author claims and what you've observed. You can ask it to find hidden connections between two totally separate meeting notes. You can have it generate an outline for a blog post based on your key takeaways. You can even ask it to play devil's advocate and give you counterarguments to your own thoughts. This is when it stops being just a tool and starts becoming a real cognitive partner.
So, let's zoom out for a second. Why does any of this really matter? It's not just about having tidier notes. This is about something much bigger. It's about amplifying your own thinking.
Look, without a workflow like this, you're always going to be fighting that context collapse we talked about at the beginning. You're feeding your AI empty calories, just the raw data, and losing that rich, amazing web of connections that you built. This whole process is designed to make sure the most valuable ingredient in your research, your own brain power, is actually in the mix.
So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought. We all talk about building a second brain, right? A place to store all our information. But what if your second brain wasn't just a dusty warehouse for storage? What if it could actually think with you? What if it was an active partner in your creative process? That is the future that this kind of workflow really starts to unlock.